You're sitting at your kitchen table on a random Tuesday night, staring at your bank balance again. Not because you want to, but because something feels off. On paper, everything looks fine. You make decent money. Your bills are paid. You're not drowning. And yet, there's this quiet pressure in your chest. Because somehow, despite doing everything right, you're not ahead. There's no big mistake you can point to. No single bad decision. Just this growing realization that the financial life you imagine by now hasn't shown up. You're not broke. But you're not where you thought you'd be either. And that gap? It's big enough to make you wonder, am I missing something? You are, and it's not some secret investment trick. It's not a flashy side hustle. It's definitely not a course from someone posing next to a rented Lamborghini. It's something much simpler. And honestly, much more uncomfortable. Because the truth is, there are ordinary people with ordinary incomes quietly becoming millionaires. Not by doing anything exciting, but by following habits so boring, so unglamorous, so invisible, that nobody notices them. Until it's too late. Welcome to Storytime. Today we're going to break down exactly how two people earning the same salary can end up in completely different financial realities. And how you can make sure you're on the right side of that line, because once you see this clearly, you'll never look at money the same way again. Let's start with something most people never realize. There is an entire system built around you. A massive, highly sophisticated system designed for one purpose: to quietly take your money. Not all at once, but slowly. Consistently, invisibly. Think about it. The car dealership that focuses on monthly payments instead of total cost. The gym membership you sign up for in January and stop using by March. The subscription you forgot to cancel. The credit card charging you over 20% interest while you make manageable minimum payments. These aren't accidents, they're business models. And they work incredibly well, especially on people who are never taught how to see them. Now here's where things get interesting. A massive study of over 10,000 millionaires revealed something shocking. Almost 80% of them didn't inherit anything. No head start, no lucky break. And 3 out of 4 of them built their wealth the same way, by investing consistently. Over a long period of time, not stock picking. Not timing the market, just consistency. Even more surprising? Most millionaires don't look rich, they drive normal cars. They live in the same homes for decades. They don't wear flashy brands. From the outside, they look completely average. And that's exactly the point. Because real wealth is invisible, so what actually separates them from everyone else? It comes down to habits, not big dramatic decisions, but small, repeated actions that quietly shape their financial future. Let's take one of the biggest examples. Cars. Most people buy new cars without thinking twice, but here's what they don't realize. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, you've already lost about 20% of its value. Gone, instantly. That's thousands of dollars. Disappearing for no reason other than timing. Now imagine instead buying that same car when it's a few years old. You get almost the same experience, but someone else already paid for the biggest loss. That difference, invested over time, it can turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's just one habit. Now stack that with keeping your car longer, instead of upgrading every few years. Suddenly, you're not making payments anymore. That money, it becomes fuel for your future. And this pattern repeats everywhere. Housing. Most people buy as much house as the bank allows. But the bank doesn't care about your peace of mind. When you stretch yourself to the limit, you lose flexibility. You lose options. And options are one of the most valuable things money can buy. The people who build wealth? They intentionally live below their means. Not because they have to, but because it gives them freedom. Freedom to invest. Freedom to breathe. Freedom to handle life when it inevitably throws something unexpected at them. Because it will, and when it does, that's where most people fall behind. Not from one big mistake, but from a series of small ones. Eating out too often, impulse purchases, subscriptions you don't use. Convenience spending that feels harmless, but adds up fast. Individually, these decisions seem tiny, but together, they can drain thousands of dollars every single year. Money you worked for and barely even remember spending. Now imagine redirecting that same money instead, investing it, letting it grow. Over time, those small decisions turn into something massive. This is where the real shift happens. Because wealth isn't built in big moments, it's built quietly, in the background, while nobody is watching. Through consistency, through discipline, through doing the simple things over and over again, like investing in index funds and leaving them alone, not reacting to every market drop, not chasing trends, just staying the course or automating your savings so you don't rely on motivation. Because motivation fades. Systems don't, or eliminating high-interest debt, which is quietly working against you every single day. Because here's the truth. You cannot build wealth while something else is draining it faster. It doesn't work. And this is where most people get stuck. They try to move forward, while being pulled backward at the same time. But once you remove that drag, everything changes. Progress becomes visible. Momentum builds. And for the first time, you start to feel ahead. Not because your income suddenly exploded, but because your habits finally aligned with your goals. And that's the real secret, not more money. Better decisions. Because two people can earn the same amount and live completely different financial lives. One spends first and hopes to save later. The other saves first and builds a future without even thinking about it. Fast forward 20 or 30 years. And the difference is staggering. Not because one person was smarter, but because one person was consistent. So if you feel stuck right now, if you feel like you should be further ahead, understand this: you're not broken. You've just been operating inside a system that was never designed to benefit you. But now you see it, and that changes everything. Because once you're aware, you can take control. You can stop performing wealth and start building it. You don't need the expensive upgrades. You don't need to impress anyone. What you need is to make one decision differently. Right now, start small. Log into your accounts. Check where your money is going. Find one leak and close it. That's it. Because this isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing one thing better today and then repeating it tomorrow. That's how real wealth is built. Quietly, consistently, over time, and one day you'll look back at your life and realize something powerful. You didn't win the lottery. You didn't get lucky. You just stopped playing a game designed to keep you behind and started playing your own. If this made you think differently about money, subscribe to Storytime, because the more you understand how the system works, the harder it becomes for it to work against you. And the easier it becomes to finally move ahead.